You're grinding every day. Long hours, no backup, no accountability. That ends now. The Empower Solopreneur Mastermind gives you one simple advantage: a weekly power session that turns isolation into domination. Every Friday morning on Zoom, you'll get real coaching and real feedback to make real moves. Join a group of driven professionals in a program designed for solopreneurs and people working at home. Stop getting stuck. Start scaling. Seats are limited. Lock in yours today at modernobserver.com/empower-mastermind.
Oil tankers seized, a violent ICE shooting in Minneapolis, new dietary guidelines, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The U.S. Coast Guard seized two sanctioned ships Wednesday morning, one a Russian-flagged oil tanker after a dramatic chase across the Atlantic, despite that ship being shadowed by a Russian submarine. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the vessel had changed flags and names to avoid capture while attempting to pick up sanctioned Venezuelan oil. The operation, supported by U.S. and British surveillance near Iceland and Scotland, marked a rare direct standoff between U.S. ships and a Russian-escorted vessel. A second stateless tanker was also seized in the Caribbean, as the U.S. aims to block oil trade among Venezuela, Russia, Iran, and China. Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old Minneapolis woman, was shot and killed by an ICE agent Wednesday morning during a federal immigration operation in South Minneapolis, triggering protests and sharply conflicting accounts. Federal officials say Good drove her SUV into an agent near 34th Street and Portland Avenue. President Trump shared video of the incident and said the officer was viciously run over and is now hospitalized. The shooting drew protesters within hours, just blocks from the site of George Floyd's killing in 2020. The FBI and Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are investigating. The Trump administration released new dietary guidelines for Americans that turn the food pyramid upside down, emphasizing protein and healthy fats while limiting added sugar and ultra-processed foods. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said the guidelines replace corporate-driven assumptions and recommended potentially doubling protein consumption from 0.8 grams to 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. A kilogram is 2.2 pounds. The 10-page document reintroduces an inverted food pyramid with meat, cheese, and vegetables at the top, departing from the My Plate visual guide and directly impacting millions of meals served in public schools, military bases, and federal facilities. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told lawmakers that President Trump plans to buy Greenland rather than taking control of the Arctic nation through military action. Rubio's clarification came shortly after President Trump signaled increased interest in seizing Greenland last weekend. Officials from Denmark, which currently controls Greenland, said it is not for sale. President Donald Trump on Wednesday said he will not permit defense companies to issue dividends or stock buybacks until those firms speed up their production of military equipment and address his other complaints about the industry. Trump, in a lengthy Truth Social post, also took aim at defense contractors' executive pay packages, calling them exorbitant and unjustifiable. Defense companies are not producing our great military equipment rapidly enough, and once produced, not maintaining it properly or quickly, he wrote. Until those companies build new production plants, no executive should be allowed to make in excess of $5 million, Trump declared. That's the Raw Naked Truth for January 8th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.